Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you very late tonight. Well, kind of mid evening time now. It's like 9 p.m. doing this video, but I'm going to try to get it publicized before the first comes around, February 1st. But other than that, this is for the best and worst songs of January 2025 video that you guys have been highly anticipating on me doing. So, we're going to discuss the best section first, and then we'll do the worst afterwards, because there are a couple tracks on the worst section that I found to be pretty bad. But not the worst, but they're just bad songs in general. So, other than that, let's dive into the number 24 spot in the best section, which is Mayday Parade, by the way. Good song for how it sounds. I like Derek's vocals in this track. It sounds really good. Really enjoyed how the mixing was for this track, and it executed pretty fine for what I went for, so I'd give it a good 4.75 out of 5. Then we get the next track, which is the next song that I'm going to talk about, which is Jenny's song or single Love Hangover featuring Dominique Fike. This track was pretty good. I mean, some of her flowing and rapping was a little iffy at times, but other than that, I think this track worked for what it was going for. It was hit or miss from time to time, but I don't necessarily hate it. It's just the flowing with her rapping sounded alright with her normal singing and rapping. But Dominic Fike did pretty well with his rapping too, and overall the song structure and the mixing and production was pretty fine, meaning it was good for how it said, how it sounded. So that's my number 23 pick. Number 22 is Shinedown with 365, one of the newest singles that came out last week, along with another single that I will be mentioning in a second. But 365 did get repetitious, but it was a nice track for how it was. Like it relied on the chorus a bit too much with this song, and it's fine, but it's just repetitious and kind of could get a little bothersome. So this track hasn't fully grown on me yet, but it's something that I thought I was really gonna like, but I guess I've kind of listened to it from time to time, but don't listen to it all the time. Not like the next single that I'm gonna talk about. So 365 made it at number 22. Brent Smith's vocals were pretty nice in this track. This track did have a nice message to it, so really dig it. Number 21 is Shinedown Again with the first single they dropped, Dance Kid Dance. Pretty strong track. Some of the lyrics play it safe for how it sounds, but execution wise, I think Brent Smith did very well with his vocals and just how the track sounded with the drum work. It's pretty strong, and guitar work was pretty good, so I dig this single, and that's my number 21 pick. Number 20 is Lacuna Coil with Gravity. Good track, a pretty strong track for how it sounds. I really like the lead singer's vocals in this track. You'll have to remind me what the vocalist's name is, because I tend to forget sometimes. I know Ginger dropped a new single too, as well, called Duel, but I didn't get around to listening to it, but I'll make it on the February cut. Uh, if not, it's not going to matter, because it's not a song I wanted to hear anyway. But even though I've heard a few of the Ginger singles, I've not really come back to uh, the rest of those songs, to be honest. But I'll listen to it when the album drops next week. But other than that, Lacuna Coil, Gravity was a strong track. I mean, the harmonizing from the lead singer's vocals were pretty strong. Sorry, that cat is trying to catch his balance. Titan, what are you doing? Being weird. For sure. but he's being a sweetheart. He just almost lost his balance for a second. You're okay, Titan. But yeah, Lacuna Coil Gravity at number 20. Number 19 is Grey Days with Fake Little Lies. Pretty strong track, at least made it in the top 20, at least. And it's a good track for how it sounds. Just execution-wise, with it relying on the chorus a bit too much. I think Chris's vocals are pretty strong in this, and I think Chester would have been proud of this track, because it was a pretty good track, and it did kick ass from time to time. So that's what I dig about this track. A strong 5 out of 5 is well deserved for it, and it made it at the number 19 pick on my list. Number 18 is As It Is with Dial Tones. Pretty good track for how it sounds. It has Holding Absence in this track. Luke Holland is in this song, I believe is his name. Or Lucas is his name. I'm not sure. I have to look into it again, but from what I listened to, I think As It Is, Dial Tones featuring Holding Absence was a strong track. I really like what's his name? I know his name, I just couldn't think of it. Patty Walters. That's what I'm thinking of. Patty Walters' vocals were pretty strong in this, and I really enjoyed this track. Number 17 is Memphis May Fire with Overdose featuring Blindside. It is a pretty good song, keep in mind. The problem with this track is, well, there's not a problem with the track. There's a problem with them dropping too many fucking singles. Because come March, we're probably going to get the majority of the album already. We've already gotten like 3/4 of the record already. I think Memphis May Fire should technically stop doing what they're doing because they're spoiling their records. I mean, I enjoyed this song, Overdose, featuring Blindside. It was pretty good, but the problem is them dropping too many singles month by month, and that's getting a little repetitious and kind of annoying. So I think Matty Mullins does have a good voice and his screaming vocals are good, but yes, that's my only biggest critique, is bands dropping too many singles before release date of their record. That's ruining and spoiling the record too much, and it's just, you're not going to really come back to something like that. That's why I didn't put them on my most anticipated, my highly anticipated records for 2025, because apparently Memphis May Fire was off the list because of that fact, and so was Hands Like Houses too, as well. But other than that, good track, but please stop with the singles, Memphis May Fire. I know you're going to probably release an 8th single, so I'm not really surprised there. Even if it comes out in March, that's fine, but we're only going to be excited for 2 fucking songs. One's an interlude, and one is another track. So, I'm just not going to care anymore. But it just comes to a point where when you see bands dropping too many singles, you have to question, why the fuck do they even do this to begin with? I know they're trying to make money out of a single, but that's not how you do it. Like 4 or 5 singles is okay as long as it's a big track list of an album. But if it's less than that, 3 or 4 singles at best. So, yeah, 17 is Memphis May Fire Overdose featuring Blindside. Now to continue forward. Sorry, I tend to go on a little rant and disappointment spree of talking about Memphis May Fire. And I'll probably do the same with Hands Like Houses. Excuse my yawning. Probably do the same with Hands Like Houses. Number 16 is Bury Tomorrow with Let Go. Pretty strong track for how it sounds. It's not one of my favorites of the month, but it at least made it near the top 15. But I think screaming vocal wise from the lead singer is pretty strong, and just execution wise, the vocals in the background from the clean vocalists are pretty good. So I really dig this track. It's not as good as What If I Burn, but it is good of a song. It didn't technically do as great as What If I Burn, but it still was a strong track in its own way. That's my number 16 pick. Number 15 is Killswitch Engage with I Believe, one of the singles that came out about almost a week ago. Pretty strong track for how it is. I think Jesse Leach's vocals, his clean vocals in this are pretty good. And execution wise, this track did have some good chunky riffs and good drum work and all that. So I do dig this song for how it is, but I just think it's one of those Killswitch Engage songs you gotta appreciate and be like, at least they made a melodic heavy metal track. Kind of in a sense. That's my number 15 pick. Number 14 is One OK Rock with Puppets Can't Control You. Pretty good track for how it sounds. I like Taka's vocals in this track. Pretty good. I can't wait for the new record Detox to drop on February 21st. At least with that record. I don't think they're going to spoil another single. Because we're only 1 month or 3 weeks away from their new album. To be technical about it. So, yeah, 3 weeks from the record's release. So, I'm excited, but also I'm just waiting to see what happens with that. But other than that, that's my number 14 pick. Puppets Can't Control You was a pretty strong track. Number 13 is Bleed From Within, A Hope in Hell. Pretty good song for how it sounds. I really enjoyed the screaming vocalists. Scream vocals were pretty strong. Like his unclean vocals were pretty good. And I really enjoyed how the song executed. There were some melodic moments, but other than that, it had regular singing in this track. Excuse my yawning. I'm just getting the yawning spurs or whatever you could call it. Just it's been a week basically. But other than that, that's my number 13 pick. A Hope in Hell is a pretty good track for how it sounds, and at least made it in the top 15 or less than that now. So, number 12 is Hands Like Houses with Fatally Fractured. Almost slurred with what I said, Fatally Fractured. Pretty good single, for sure. Josh Raven's vocals are pretty strong in this, and I really dig how the song executes. It's mellow for most of it, and then it starts picking up a little more as the rest of the track goes on. So it's got a nice melodic melody for the majority of the track, and I really can dig this one, even though it's the 13th fucking single off their 16-track record, Atmospherics, dropping in 2 weeks, February 14th. Yeah, 13 fucking singles. That's kind of ridiculous if you can catch my drift on that. But other than that, it's one of those songs you can appreciate, but you gotta understand that if you drop too many singles before an album comes out, you're gonna spoil the record and it's gonna ruin the hype. So that's not a good thing. Because you want fans to be excited for what's to come when album release comes, or is soon to be coming, or is just about upon us. But other than that, yeah, that's what I think. Josh Raven's vocals were pretty good, and the drum work and guitar work was pretty solid. So that's my number 12 pick. Number 11 is Pop Evil with Wishful Thinking. Pretty good song for how it sounds. I really enjoyed Lee's vocals in this. It was a pretty strong track. I mean, Death Walk did grow on me. It took quite a bit of time for that single to grow on me. but it did grow on me, so you can scratch that worst songs of 2024 video that I did and put it on that list, because it was at the top tier of the list, but it wasn't one of the worst tracks. But it has grown on me, so it's off the worst songs list of last year. So as of this year, it's a new year, fresh new start. Definitely tried to expand my horizons with what I thought of that track. And with this track, it impressed me. Lee's vocals are pretty strong in this one, and the production and mixing in it is pretty good. They did announce a new record, What Remains, dropping March 21st. Can't wait to listen to that record. I hope it's a good album. But other than that, that's my number 11 pick. It was a strong song from Pop Evil, and I'm glad they dropped a good track this time around. Number 10 is The Browning with Blue Dabba Dee. It's a cover track of the Blue song from back in the day. And I know they made, David Guetta and BB Rexha did a cover of this song too called I'm Good, Blue. I did not like that track, if I'm being honest. It's very mainstream, very cringy with how it sounds, and it just didn't do anything. It was like a party EDM track that sucked. But this one was better. I liked the Brownings version of it. There was a little bit of a critique I had with it. I Have a Girlfriend and She Is So Blue lyric. That one was a little hit or miss with that lyric, but everything else did pretty well with this track. And I did enjoy the Brownings' new single, Blue Dabba Dee, their cover song of a 2000s song from back in the day. That was a disco track. But other than that, this track was a banger. And it did well with the electronic core, metalcore kind of sound they go for. So, really enjoyed this single, and it's in the top 10. Number 9 is Electric Callboy with Elevator Operator. Pretty good song for how it sounds. I really dig this track. I think both the vocalists and screaming vocalists sound really good in this. I think they have 2 or 3 singers that sing in this band. So they have, it's a 6-piece of a band. But other than that, I think the song is pretty good. It is an electronic core, metalcore kind of track, but you get some good breakdowns in this track from Electric Callboy, and I really dig that about the track. So, pretty strong single. Number 8 is Event, Animate, and Silent Planet with Return to One. Pretty strong single. I think Garrett's screaming vocals are pretty good, and just how this track did well with both lead singers from both bands. The harmonizing was great in this song, but I enjoyed Garrett Russell's screaming potential in this track, and yeah, it was a pretty good track for how it sounded. And one of my most anticipated songs that I was really hyped up to listen to when they dropped it for leak, I think on Wednesday. But it was a good track from what I listened to, so good track from Invent, Animate, and Silent Planet, and they are going on tour this spring for this whole collab song, and they're planning on playing their records as they live performing most of their albums or whatever, their previous albums that they dropped, like Heavener from Invent, Animate, and Silent Planet. Bloom, I think, was the album's name, if I remember correctly. I can't remember, to be honest. I remember enjoying that Silent Planet record from 2023. But other than that, I think this track, Super Bloom, that's what the album's name is. Pretty strong record for sure. But that's my number 8 pick. I just thought of it at the last second, so please forgive me for forgetting what I was trying to think of. Number 7 is Whitechapel with Hymns and Dissonance. Pretty strong single. I really enjoyed this track from Whitechapel. The deathcore band does kick ass with this track, and I know their last record, Kin, was a strong release. This new record, Hymns and Dissonance, dropping March 7th. Can't wait to listen to it. I hope it does very well with the whole album's playthrough. I am very excited for that record, and I can't wait to listen to it. So, strong track, Hymns and Dissonance, and it's definitely worth listening to if you have not listened to this track. Number 6 is Dream Theater, Midnight Messiah. Pretty good song for how it sounds. Pretty much James LaBrie's vocals in this track are pretty good for how it sounds, and it was pretty progressive metal, good prog metal kind of riffs and drum work and all that. For the guitar riff and drum work in this song is pretty strong, so really dig this track. And it's one of my favorite Dream Theater singles. I think Dream Theater's been kicking ass with their new singles, and Parasomnia is only a week away. So can't wait to listen to it on February 7th. So other than that, pretty good song. It's my number 6 pick. Number 5 is August Burns Red. We're finally at the top 5. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me through this whole video. I know there's going to be a few more minutes of this video or so, and then I'll be able to tell you what my worst songs on the list are. But in the worst section, of course. But August Burns Red, Barbarian, featuring Josh McManus. Pretty strong track. I really enjoyed Jake Lurs' screaming potential in this track. This track definitely kicked ass and was one of my favorite songs of January of 2025. Why did I say January 2024? Please forgive me for saying that. I'm just backtracking like from, I think it's still 2024, but no, it's not. We're in the new year now, 2025. So, other than that, Barbarian, August Burns Red, featuring Josh McManus. Pretty strong track. Definitely worth checking out if you have not listened to this song this month of January. Number 4 is Silverstein, Don't Let Me Get Too Low. Pretty good track. It's a very short song, so you're not in for much, but I had to put it in the top 5 because Silverstein has impressed me with their new songs. I mean, Confession didn't make it in the top 5, but it made it in the top 10, I think, of October of 2024. And Skin and Bones was a strong one, too, in August of 2024. So they've dropped 3 singles for their new record, Anti-Bloom, dropping February 21st. Can't wait to listen to that record. I hope it does very well, execution-wise, and hope it's a interesting record for 8 songs. So, other than that, that's my number 4 pick. I think Shane Told's screaming vocals and his clean vocals are pretty strong in this track. Very fast-paced track and pretty strong for the drum work and all that. So, I really dig this track. Pretty good song from Silverstein. Number 3 is August Burns Red with Your Little Suburbia is in Ruins. Pretty good song for how it sounded. I had to put it in the top 5 along with the other August Burns Red single, Barbarian. But this one was a lot better than the one I talked about recently. But I enjoyed Jake Lurs' screaming potential in this track. And just execution-wise, this track was a banger for sure. So, really enjoyed the breakdowns, the screaming vocals from Jake Lurs. Just execution-wise, like I said, pretty good song. Number 2 is Wind Waker with Arcane. So we're now in the last two that I'm talking about for the best section. Then I'll get to the worst section afterwards. But other than that, Wind Waker Arcane, I think Liam's vocals are pretty strong from what I listen to. But other than that, I think Liam's vocals did very well with how he was singing this track, and it's the last single to announce their hyper violence expansion pack or whatever, their February 14th release that's coming out soon in the next 2 weeks. But I think this track definitely kicked ass for sure. It had some good screaming vocals from Liam, and just singing vocal wise, it did pretty well. So I had to put it at the number 2 as the runner up for the best song of January 2025. And now, drum roll please, what is the best song of January 2025? Architects at it again with Black Hole. That is one of my favorite tracks of this month. I have come back to this quite often, and it has been a song that I've definitely headbanged to and enjoyed because I love the guitar solo in the bridge part of the track. I love how Sam Carter sounds good. Death growls, screaming vocals. He does everything very well with his scream vocals and his clean vocals in this track. The chorus is very memorable, for sure. I know there's some critics that are saying, Architect sounds the same. They're not doing what they usually do all the time. So, from what I listened to, I enjoyed Architects' new single, Black Hole. It's a pretty strong release from them, and I really dig this track for how it sounds. So, yeah, Architects' Black Hole is my number 1 favorite track of the best song, and it is the best song of January 2025 in my opinion, because I think they pulled it off with this track. I mean, there were a few. Well, this was the most hyped single that they announced back in the end of the second week of January 2025. But I think it was January 10th they released a trailer for this song, like a snippet of it for like 10 seconds. But other than that, this song was the most hyped song I was excited for, and I'm glad I enjoyed the fuck out of this track because the song was great. Now, to the worst section of January 2025. What are the worst songs that I listened to in January 2025? Starting with number 3 is Rise Against with Nod. This track, I didn't like this song for how it sounded. The only problem with this track was the mixing. It wasn't well mixed. It wasn't sounding very good. And this was one of the worst tracks of January 2025. I'm so disappointed with Rise Against this time around because apparently they're trying to do their stuff from Wolves, and it's like, yeah, you made that album Wolves, but it wasn't one of your best records, if I'm being honest. It just didn't sound that great. I mean, there were a few songs that I was like, it's okay, but not great. But other than that, Rise Against Nod, it's one of the least favorite songs that I did not like this month of January 2025, and it's a boring dud. It's not a boring dud, it's just the mixing is bad in this song, and it could have been improved a lot more as long as they took a lot more time with this single and made it much more interesting, and the vocal delivery did not do it for me. Number 2 is Dead by April with Brain Tissue. Now, I know what Zach D Productions is going to say. He said, at first, he messaged me or whatever saying, oh, well, good thing you did not listen to the new Dead by April track. Well, guess again. I did listen to it, and it sucked. The electronic work for the auto-tune electronic vocals are so bad in the chorus of the song. that it just makes me cringe, and the lyrics are so repetitious and bullshit. The song is utter bullshit. It is the runner-up as the worst song of January 2025 as a single alone. So, yeah, this song sucked ass, and it can go fuck itself and die in a hole. This track. I don't mean to say it just don't mean to sound so rude and blunt, but that's how I feel. Because this song fucking sucked. It's an atrocious disaster, and Dead by April should be embarrassed out of this clusterfuck of a mess. So, that's what I think of the track. And finally, what is the worst song of January 2025? Well, Tom MacDonald and Roseanne Barr with Daddy's Home. Now, granted, this is a political track, and it's like, but most of us don't want to talk about political songs that much anymore. Tom MacDonald is the most cringy rap artist and very controversial artist with his political views. I mean, granted, I'm not trying to get into politics at the end of this video, but this song fucking sucked. Roseanne Barr can't fucking rap for shit. It sounds annoying, and she tries twerking in the fucking video. It is terrible as fuck. This video is so fucking bad that it made me quit listening to it. I listened to the whole fucking track, and I was so disappointed with the 2 minutes of this runtime of an atrocious disaster of a song. Tom MacDonald is a piece of crap, and yeah, he should just quit his career as a musician and an artist, because he fucking sucks. I mean, no one wants to fucking hear political tracks. Even if you don't agree with someone's political views, why the fuck are you making songs about it, rubbing it in people's faces, even if they don't agree with your political stances? Fucking shut up. Talk about some other topic in your songs. Like, sing some other topic in your tracks, not this garbage ass bullshit. Because, in my opinion, this song is a complete clusterfuck of a mess, and should definitely just be thrown in a trash can and just never see the light of day again. Because this song is the worst song of January 2025, and this song is a big middle finger, for sure, to Tom MacDonald. Fuck you, dude. And fuck this song. So that is it for the best and worst songs of January 2025. Comment below and let me know what your best and worst songs of January 2025 are. And hopefully you enjoyed this long-awaited video. I was trying to get this video done yesterday, or trying to do one for this yesterday, but I never came around to it because I was so freaking tired after work. I was talking to some friends. Well, kind of tired, but still. I just wanted to do this video today to let you know that I'm still making content and I'm still pushing out some good reviews. As long as you guys enjoy them, that's all that matters. But other than that, I thought I'd make this best and worst songs of January 2025 video come to fruition. It is a pretty lengthy video, so even if you have to take your time watching this video, just watch it, take breaks, do whatever. This video's not going anywhere. It's still going to be up on my channel for a while. For quite a while. Like forever. But I don't want to get into topics like that. But other than that, I've just been mentally drained because of work too. So I've just been, But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this best and worst songs of January 2025 video, and I'll see you guys in my next review. Thanks for watching.